Today, I want to break down a Supreme Court decision that's shaking up the balance of power in the U.S., one that's got both legal experts and politicians fired up. On June 27th, in a 6-3 split, the Supreme Court, led by its conservative majority, decided to sharply limit the power of federal judges to issue nationwide injunctions against presidential executive orders. That means, from now on, judges can't just slam the brakes on a president's actions across the whole country unless there's a class action lawsuit, which is way harder and more expensive to pull off. For former president and current president Donald Trump, this is a big win. During Trump's first 100 days in office, judges hit him with over 24 nationwide injunctions. Fast forward to today, Trump's already signed 164 executive orders in his second term. That's more than President Biden managed over his entire 4 years. But let's get to the heart of the controversy: birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court's ruling lifts a nationwide block on Trump's order to restrict citizenship for children born to undocumented parents in the U.S. Now, unless there's a specific state injunction, that order could actually be enforced in parts of the country, though not for at least 30 days after the ruling. Critics are calling this decision explosive. Alan Orr, a former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, says it's a drastic change that weakens the judiciary's role as a check on presidential power. Leon Fresco, a former Justice Department official, warns there could be grave consequences for newborns of immigrants. Think about kids being denied passports or social security numbers depending on what state they're born in. The ACLU says this opens the door to partial enforcement of Trump's order, meaning some states could see entirely different outcomes for families in almost identical situations. On the other side, Republicans like Senator Chuck Grassley argue that nationwide injunctions were an unconstitutional affront to checks and balances, and that this decision restores proper order. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, in a fiery dissent, slammed the majority for ignoring constitutional issues, saying the unlawfulness of Trump's order was patent, and warning that the majority's error could have serious consequences. So, what's the bottom line? This ruling makes it much harder for groups and individuals to challenge presidential actions in multiple courts at once. We could see a patchwork of enforcement across the U.S., with federal policies playing out differently state by state and relitigation of past injunctions now very much on the table. If you're watching U.S. politics, constitutional law, or immigration policy, this ruling is a game changer. The balance of power just tipped, and the effects are going to be felt for years to come.